Have you ever wondered what you look like? No, seriously. Because 40,000 years ago, knowing your own face was a real problem. Your only option was a puddle. You had to find a perfectly clean, perfectly still body of water, lean over, and look straight into it. And hope that some obnoxious frog wouldn't decide to throw a pool party right in it. It was unreliable. Then, around 6,000 years BC, in Anatolia, where Turkey is now, history changed. Someone got a brand new idea. They discovered that if you polish volcanic glass, it reflects. Yes, the first handheld mirrors were polished volcanic stone, but they were creepy. The reflection was dark, distorted, like you were looking at your own evil twin from a nightmare dimension. Definitely not great for checking if your battle paint was applied straight. So, the Egyptians, they went further. Around 3000 BC, they made mirrors from polished copper or bronze. This was better, but it had two big problems. Problem one, you always looked slightly green, like you were a little bit nauseous. Problem two, bronze oxidizes. You had to constantly polish your mirror, or your reflection would turn into just a patch of rust. The Romans also used polished metal. Imagine a centurion trying to shave while looking at his battle-scratched shield. For centuries, humanity just dealt with it. We had reflectors, but not mirrors. They were dim, small, and incredibly expensive. And they only gave you an idea of what you looked like. And it stayed that way for thousands of years, until Venice enters the stage. 15th century Venice was not just about pasta and masks. These guys had a secret. They figured out how to connect perfect, clear glass with mercury. Yes, toxic, liquid, shimmering mercury. The result was magic. For the very first time, a person could see themselves perfectly, every pore, every lash. And Venice knew they had a gold mine. This wasn't just a product. It was a level 7 national security secret. If you tried to flee, you were hunted. The penalty for selling the secret was simple. You were found in a canal. Why such paranoia? Because the Venetian mirror cost more than any luxury car. I'm serious. A single, small mirror cost as much as a fully equipped 17th century warship. That was the price. And this brings us to the greatest flex in human history. Meet the Sun King, Louis XIV of France. The Sun King wanted those mirrors desperately, but the Venetians told him absolutely not, state secret. So Louis launched a spy operation. His agents bribed and secretly approached the artisans. They seduced and eventually kidnapped the Venetian masters, bringing them to France. He stole the technology. And what did he build with the world's most valuable secret? He built this, the Hall of Mirrors. 357 giant, perfect mirrors. This was not just a beautiful room. This was a political war cry. Louis was shouting, "I'm so rich, I can wallpaper my house with a fleet of battleships." This was the end of the Venetian monopoly. The secret was out. But the horror was just beginning. Because while the kings were flexing, the poor craftsmen who made them were paying a deadly price. This continued until 1835, when a German chemist finally brought science to the process. His name was Justus von Liebig. He decided to stop using toxic mercury. He used science instead, mixing silver nitrate and sugar. And suddenly, bam! The liquid hit the glass and it magically transformed into a layer of perfectly reflective silver. The result was a revolution. No more madness, no more assassinations. The process was cheap, fast, and safe. And suddenly, everybody could afford a mirror. This is where things got really weird. Because until then, you didn't really know what you looked like. Not honestly, your brain couldn't cope with the truth. That's why mirrors suddenly became symbols of vanity, of sin, and of absolute psychological terror. This is where all the superstitions come from, covering mirrors during funerals, the 7 years of bad luck. Because if you broke that mirror, you were smashing your own soul, the image of yourself that society now demanded you see. The mirror is not just a tool. It's the moment we started judging ourselves. It's the history of self-awareness. And all of that because one German chemist got tired of seeing his reflection. Look sickly green in bronze. But the story didn't end in the 19th century. Today, mirrors have become invisible. We don't even notice them anymore. They are in our cars, keeping us safe on the highway. They are in our elevators, our bathrooms, our pockets. But humanity took this simple idea, reflection, and pushed it to the absolute extreme of science. We built giant mirrors and launched them into deep space. The James Webb Telescope? It's essentially just a $10 billion mirror. It uses gold-plated segments to reflect light from the very beginning of the universe. We use tiny, microscopic mirrors to direct light in projectors. We use perfectly parallel mirrors to trap light and create lasers. But the ultimate evolution of the mirror is in your hand right now. It's this, the smartphone. The selfie camera is the strangest mirror of all time. Because it doesn't just reflect reality, it improves reality. It adds filters. It smooths your skin. It turns you into a cartoon puppy. The Venetian mirror told you the brutal truth. The digital mirror asks you, what do you want to look like? So it's been a long, crazy journey. From 40,000 years ago, fighting frogs in a muddy puddle, through the deadly poison of Venetian workshops, to the massive ego trip of the Palace of Versailles, all the way to you sitting there right now, finding the perfect angle for your photo. We finally conquered our reflection. Ugh, the caveman would be very jealous of your hair. But seriously, check your teeth. You might have spinach in them. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more secret histories of everyday things.